we're going to learn to pour latte art using just soapy water so we don't waste any milk. These are the things you need to get started. You need any kind of liquid dish soap. You need preferably a shallow cappuccino or latte cup. It's going to be a little easier if your cup's at least 10 ounces, but preferably no bigger than about 14. A 20-ounce steaming pitcher will work well. We're going to be filling it with water over and over, and the water should be about a ½ inch below the spout each time we start. And a pound of some quality ritual sweet tooth espresso would be very helpful. Filled with cold water about a ½ inch below the spout. So inside the pitcher there's about that much water. And we're going to use the smallest amount of dish soap that we can pour out. So just one tiny drop. That's all we need. Any more would be a problem for the steaming. We'll purge our steam wand. Steam wand will be just about 10-15 degrees off the vertical. We're going to start with the tip of the steam wand below the surface of the milk. Turn the steam wand on. As soon as the air is going, then we're going to carefully find the surface so that we get a light frothing noise. We don't want the noise to get loud. We don't want any visible bubbles to form. We just want to form small bubbles to keep that gurgling noise. Once we've expanded our milk about a ½ inch, we're going to put the steam wand a little deeper in milk. We're going to keep the milk steaming until it's too hot to touch, and then we're going to turn it off. If you did a good job with the milk should be shiny, there should be no visible bubbles, and you should have a good quality microfoam. Alright, so I'm here with Kate Ermakoff, and Kate has never steamed milk before for lattes, so she's going to be starting from scratch. We have some cold water in the pitcher. Kate, go ahead and put the smallest amount of dish soap you can into the water. Okay, purge the steam wand into the rag. Bring the steam wand out a little bit. Alright, maybe a little more vertical. Start with the steam wand below the surface of the water before you turn it on. Go ahead and crank on the air. Now slowly lower the pitcher until you get that frothing noise. Once you have that noise, we're going to keep lowering the pitcher as the milk expands. And once we've expanded enough, I'm going to sink the steam wand a little deeper. Go ahead and turn it off. Alright, set the pitcher down. Wipe off the steam wand. Alright, tap out the pitcher, give it a little swirl. Swirl a little faster. Okay, so we got a few bubbles, but we did a pretty good job, especially for the first time. Alright. Once you've practiced steaming the soapy water and you feel competent to get microfoam several times in a row, you're ready to start learning how to pour the latte art. You take your soapy water with an empty cup. Start by staying on the edge of the cup with the pitcher. Please learn to pour latte art, staying on the edge of the cup until you get quite good at it, then you can start lifting, lowering if you wish. Staying on the edge of the cup, pour into the center of the cup with a modest flow. When you're about halfway up the cup, start wiggling the pitcher back and forth, but do not let the flow slow down. So you're keeping that constant flow. When you're at the top, lift the pitcher a couple of inches and just drizzle back through. So if you want to practice, you can just pour your water right back into the pitcher and go ahead and practice again. Keep the modest flow into the center of the cup. Once you're about halfway up, wiggle back and forth. Do not let the flow slow down. When you're near the top, lift and drizzle back through. So go back and forth. Practice over and over and over until you feel comfortable, especially about the part where you wiggle without letting the flow slow down. Most people, when they're new at this, they start losing the flow at the wiggle. Only at the very end do you lift off the edge of the cup and pour back through. Alright, so we're back with Kate. She's been practicing steaming the soapy water. She's mastered microfoam, so now we're ready to learn how to pour. Kate, what I'd like you to do is stay on the edge of the cup as you pour. Pour with the modest flow like I showed you. Keep that flow, no faster, no slower. Now when you're halfway, start wiggling the pitcher back and forth. Try not to lose the flow when you wiggle. Keep the flow, get in there. Yep, and then lift up at the very end and drizzle back through. Okay, so we lost our flow a little bit when we lifted. That's okay. Let's put the soapy water back in the pitcher. Good job, you're neater than I am. Alright, this time when we wiggle back and forth, let's try to keep that same flow.
Okay.
Stay on the edge of the cup. Good flow. Now wiggle back and forth, keeping that flow. Keep the flow, good. Keep the flow, yep. Now lift a couple of inches and then drizzle back through. Awesome, good job. So we're going to pour some latte art with Kate. Kate's about to steam her soapy water. Go ahead and turn on the steam wand, Kate. Find the spot where you get the frothing noise. gently lower that to keep that same quality of the noise. Once we've expanded about a ½ inch, we're going to raise the pitcher ever so slightly, keep the rolling milk, and then turn it off. Wipe down the steam wand. Let's pat the milk on the counter, give it a little spin. Before you pour latte art, you always want the surface of the milk to be completely shiny. Don't try to pour latte art if the surface of the milk has bubbles or if it has dryness.
Doesn't have any bubbles.
Alright, good job. Okay, so stay on the edge of the cup. Keep that constant moderate flow just like we did before with the water. Now wiggle back and forth without losing the flow. A little more flow, get deeper, good. And then lift and then drizzle back through. Alright, not bad for first try. And we'll do one more in a moment. Alright, so Kate's going to pour her second latte art. First purge the steam one. Okay, go ahead and bring up the soapy water to the steam wand. Remember to start below the surface so we don't splatter when we turn on the steam wand. Now, lower slowly, find the spot where you get the frothing noise. We keep that gentle frothing noise. Perfect. Don't let it get any louder. Okay, now raise the pitcher slightly and go ahead and turn off. Very good. Wipe down the steam wand. Okay, do you have any bubbles?
I had a couple.
Okay, that's good. You pop bubbles. You spin as the milk is shiny. Our shot will be ready in 1 second.
Just one more.
Alright. So remember this time when you start wiggling to keep that flow.
Okay.
Okay, staying on the edge of the cup, keeping that moderate flow. Wiggle without slowing down. Keep pouring a little faster. And then lift and drizzle back through. Okay, not bad. You're on your way. That'll be this one. Shot's kind of terrible. Okay, so we have our espresso shot. We have our steamed soapy water. As you can see, we have good microfoam. And now we're going to pour some latte art. I'm going to stay on the edge of the cup. Just like practicing water, we have a constant, steady flow. About halfway up, we're going to wiggle back and forth. And then when we get near the top of the cup, we lift about 1 inch, we drizzle back through. Alright, so we have our steamed soapy water, we have our espresso shot. We're going to stay on the edge of the cup. We're going to pour with that same moderate flow we practiced with. About halfway up the cup, we're going to wiggle, keeping that same flow. When we get to the top of the cup, we're just going to lift and drizzle back through. Now we have a rosetta. It's very important that you don't have too much extra milk, or in this case soapy water in the pitcher, because if you have a lot of residual, then you won't be able to get too close to the surface of the drink. It'll be a little more difficult to pour a latte art. But if you pour exactly the amount that you need, and your very last drop is going into the drink at the end, it'll be a lot easier to pour.